Thank you, Kate. Welcome, everyone, to the Hammer and what's turning out to be a very nice evening as we begin Week 8 in the CFL in the first meeting this season between the Alouettes and the Tiger Cats. Two teams playing in a forgiving division right now, but the flip side of that, Dwayne, would be that if only two teams are going to make the playoffs, these divisional matchups are so much more important now. Let's talk about the quarterbacks, starting with Trevor Harris coming off his best performance as an Alouette last week in Ottawa.
Yeah, I think you've got both these guys showing signs of heating up, and Matty did a nice job breaking down Trevor's performance in the pregame. Is absolutely terrific, like a surgeon, I believe is how it was described. Great accuracy, which has always been Trevor's hallmark, but a couple big plays along the way for him. And Dane Evans, of course, the Ticats, the battle turnovers in the early part of this season. But Evans with just one interception in his last two games, averaging over 300 yards in the last couple, looking like they're going to get things going with this Hamilton O.
Well, the Ticats won the toss and they deferred, so the Alouettes will take the ball. It is Chandler Worthy, who has two kickoff returns for touchdowns in this season, including one in the opening kickoff against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Worthy has it in his hands at the 20 to get Thursday night football underway as Worthy gets it up at around the 40 for Trevor Harris and the Montreal Alouettes to start on offense.
Yeah, Trevor comes off a 25 of 31 performance last week, 341 yards through the air in that one. A couple touchdowns, no interceptions. Really, I think, starting to develop pretty good chemistry with all of his receivers. We've seen the Canadian receivers in particular, Mayala and Keon Julian Grant, both off to a pretty good start here for the Owls.
They come into this game coming off their second win of the season, beating the Red Blacks in Ottawa last week. Throwing to his right on first down. And that is off for Reggie White. As we take a look at the Montreal offense brought to you by Expedia.
And Sean Jamieson, their veteran center, returns to the lineup after a stint on the 6-game injured list. Happy to have him back. That shifts Christian Matt beside him at the guard. We mentioned Hergy Mayala, his first 100-yard game as an Alouette last week. And we'll talk a little bit about his importance in his acquisition, the importance to the ratio for Montreal as this game goes on.
That was incomplete for White. Second down and 10 with time. Off to the left, and he goes right back to White. And that is shy of a first down across the 40. Still a few yards shy. It'll be third down.
A good start there, obviously, for the Hamilton defense to shut things down. An opportunity to get pretty good field position here. See Jamal roll from his boundary corner position.
And Lawrence Woods, who was a game-time decision in there, leading punt returner in the Canadian Football League, standing back at the Hamilton 15 to receive this from Joseph Zima. It's exactly where Woods takes it to at the 15-yard line. Eludes Kerfala Exime and then cuts back the other way and loses yardage on that return. Good coverage by the Alouettes. And here comes Dane Evans, first possession for Hamilton in this game.
Yeah, Evans 297 yards in the loss last week in BC. You see the touchdown interception numbers on the season, but as I said, just one of those interceptions coming in the last two games. That was against the Lions. No interceptions the week before in the Ticats' victory over Ottawa.
They were right in it at BC Place last week against an explosive Lions team. The defense had done a great job limiting BC to 17 points.
Return holding. Hamilton number 85. That penalty's declined. Holding Hamilton number 93. That penalty's accepted. Half the distance to goal. First down Hamilton.
So that much further back for Evans and the Ticats. But yes, very competitive game, and Hamilton had their chances, Dwayne, late in that game and within a score of taking the lead.
Yeah, they certainly did. Some possessions down the stretch, but they were just unable to get the touchdown they needed to pull out that road victory.
So with that holding on the return, they're back at their 7. To start things off on offense, faking the handoff to Don Jackson. Off to Braylon Addison. He gets up across the 15 as we take a look at Hamilton's offense.
And as we look at this offensive line, veteran right tackle Chris Van Zyl is out. Travis Vornkal comes in at left tackle. That shifts Colin Kelly to the right side, which is actually his more natural spot on that O-line. The receiving corps very excited to welcome Lamar Durant. Makes his Tiger Cat debut after coming over from BC in free agency. Opened the year on the 6-game injured list.
So a second and short, completing it to Tim White. It's his hand in the face of Najee Murray, and a first down up to the 20.
We'll take a look at this Alouette defense on that D-line. Keep an eye on Mike Moore on the interior. Good pass rusher from in there. In the linebacking core, you've got Tyrese Beverette, the former Ticat, stepping in at the weak side linebacker spot. Micah Awe at the middle linebacker spot. They've had a couple of injuries there that we'll talk about. Mike Jones, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, off to a nice start at corner.
Passing at first down in behind White. He had it, and he coughed it up, and Wesley Sutton falls on it. And we have a turnover early in this game. Tim White, the catch and the fumble. Montreal football in the Hamilton zone. Still waiting for the official signal. But the teams have switched. Ticat defense coming on.
Yeah, a couple Ticats were trying to suggest that he didn't have possession and that it should be ruled an incomplete pass, but I suspect that that'll be, could be wishful thinking. I mean, he was juggling it a little bit, but I don't think they're going to get that one overturned.
It was former Ticat Tyrese Beverette making contact with Tim White. And the discussion continues among Tim Croker, the referee, and some of the officials now. Looking at it again here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a closer call than I thought watching it at live speed. You see it's a bit of an ice cream cone grab there initially. And on the reverse angle, you can see he's kind of juggling it as he looks to put it away. Wait, the inside slot here. But, you know, looks like a couple of steps there taken, whether juggling or not, where he seems to be in control of the football. But I think you're going to see this call stand.
So under review, waiting confirmation from the command center on what appeared to be a catch and a fumble by Tim White. Big point in the game, early as it is for Orlando Steinauer.
And as I said, obviously, given the time that this is taking, much closer call than initially felt.
Ruling is that it's an incomplete pass. It's second down.
So the Hamilton offense comes back on the field, and the Montreal defense too, ruling that this was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and you'll see from this angle, this is where the debate lies, is whether he ever really had control. You see juggling, and as he brought it up, bearing in mind that this is in slow motion, he didn't have a real hold on the football there as he sort of brought it up to his left. And it pops out of there, and thus the ruling.
So the ball is just outside the Hamilton 20, and they still have it. It's a second down and 10 now. Scoreless game early on to start week 8 at Tim Hortons Field. Evans to the left. It's complete, shy of a first down. Stephen Dunbar pushed out by Rodney Randall. And the punting unit comes on. So still a break for the Ticats, though, because in terms of field position, Montreal will start, you'd have to think, barring a great return by Worthy, a little further back than they would have had it. Not to underestimate number 30 for what he's done so far this season since coming to
Bit of a rough week last week in Ottawa. Had a couple of baubles, but aside from that blip, has been a very important part of this team.
It is Michael Domagala. Started the season as the kicker, now the punter for Montreal. It's in the hands of Worthy at the 45. Gets to midfield, and he does get into Hamilton territory just across. Trevor Harris 1 for 2 for 7 yards in their first possession. Back comes the Montreal offense now, 0-0. Thursday Night Football presented by 7-Eleven.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by 7-Eleven, where you get fast 24/7 delivery on game day, including Slurpee drinks.
Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Montreal ball in Hamilton territory at the 48 after a 19-yard punt return by Chandler Worthy. So Trevor Harris coming off a great game in Ottawa last week. Handing off, Walter Fletcher, right side, and he picks up about 3 yards. How about that Tiger Cats defense, Dwayne?
Yeah, we'll take a look at this group. Julian Hauser at that defensive end spot had an interception last week. We'll watch to see if he's getting back in coverage as well as pass rushing. Kyle Wilson continues to start for the injured Simone Lawrence at linebacker. They anticipate the veteran getting a little closer to a return. And speaking of returning veterans, great to have Cariel Brooks, all-star, back at the boundary halfback spot this week.
His season debut. Brooks back in that Ticat secondary. On the 2nd and 7. Well, it goes to Jake Winicky, and the ball comes out. Adeleke coming up for it. But ruling that he is down before the ball came out. And right around a first down, close to it for the Alouettes.
We'll take a look at the pop here.
That ball did not come out before he got down.
Javon Santos Knox lowering the boom.
Or excuse me, the ball definitely came out. And they're saying Montreal ball, swinging it out to Fletcher. Walter Fletcher, and a flag comes out as he gets first down yardage just inside the Hamilton 25.
In a hurry up and snap the ball situation before anybody has a chance to see that replay.
Richard Leonard coming in on the previous play and knocking the ball out on Winicky. And Montreal able to keep going, but penalized as Danny Machocha, his 3rd game as head coach of the Alouettes, shakes his head.
Maybe the football gods looking to even things out with a penalty call against the Alouettes after that gain. Set them at 1st and extra long.
First and 20 at the Hamilton 45. Under pressure, and down goes Harris. So Montreal starting to go backwards now. It's Dylan Wynn. The last time Montreal played here in a playoff game last October or November, they sacked him 3 times, forcing fumbles.
Yeah, and you're going to see Dylan Wynn from his defensive tackle spot get there in a hurry on this one. Quick hand slap, swim inside. And the veteran Christian Matt. Dylan Wynn gets home.
So 2nd and 27 now for Trevor Harris. They're backed up near midfield. From the Hamilton 52. 4-man rush. Under pressure again. They have his non-throwing arm. That's Micah Johnson, and he wasn't able to get rid of the football. So taken down again is a great stand by the Ticat defense to push the Alouettes out of any scoring chance at all.
Well, that dynamic duo at defensive tackle gets it done on this series for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This time it's big Micah Johnson. Ticats, one of their main free agent acquisitions. I'll tell you, once Micah Johnson gets a hold of you, you're not getting away.
No, no chance at all. And so they punt, and it's in the hands of Woods at the 15, and more good punt coverage there by the Alouettes. Trevor Harris couldn't find anyone. Micah Johnson found him. His left arm was enough to get the job done. Hamilton football in a scoreless tie. Here's a look at Dane Evans, and how things have been progressing a bit over the last couple of games. Disastrous start in the first 4 when they went 0 for 4, but got the win a couple of weeks ago here against the Red Blacks, and last week. You do see the numbers, Dwayne, improving a bit for Evans.
Yeah, and certainly the biggest thing is in the turnover category. You see the 5 touchdowns versus 8 interceptions to start the season. 3 TDs, just 1 pick in the last couple.
He hands off to Braylon Addison, who doesn't get much. Maybe a yard up around the 20. It'll be 2nd and long for the Ticats.
And we talk about this all the time with the Tiger Cats. A lot of problems for this team running the football. You'll see them try to get a lot of different people involved in the run game to try to rectify that problem, but currently last in the league in terms of rushing yards. But we'll anticipate, in addition to Don Jackson, seeing called quarterback runs. We'll see Braylon Addison and Tim White run the ball as well.
So 2nd and 9, off to the left and a bit too far for Tim White. Coverage there from Wes Sutton, and it's 2 and out for the Ticats. And you talk about that running game. Dane Evans is the leading rusher on the Ticats with 99 yards. The only team in the CFL that does not have a rusher to be at least 100 on the season. They emphasize that point, and that 2 and out Domagala will come back. They're deep in their own zone, so the Alouettes should be in good shape getting the ball back with Worthy up shy of the Montreal 50. Domagala getting it to Worthy on a shorter punt at midfield, and Worthy does get inside the Hamilton zone, down inside their 50. Back comes Trevor Harris. 0-0 Thursday night football in the Hammer. It was his best start as a member of the Alouettes in his old stomping grounds in Ottawa last week. Trevor Harris, 25 of 31, 341, couple of touchdowns and no picks.
Yeah, strong start obviously for Trevor Harris as he continues to settle into that starter's role in Montreal. Biggest play of the night, bomb to Herji Mayala,
who was their best receiver that night. Faking it to Jesh Renantwi, barely getting it away and trying to one-hand it was Eugene Lewis, who can quite often make that catch. Remarkably, that one falls to the turf and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was Gino Lewis going for the highlight reel. I think it might have been an easier catch than he made it appear. Gino was looking for the level of difficulty points here.
But that said, we've seen him do that catch.
Yeah, we
though.
certainly have.
Not that time. 2nd down, Hamilton 49. To the right and too far for Lewis that time with Jamal Roll there. And so just like that, Montreal's offense stalls against that Ticat defense again.
Well, they get Gino lined up out wide here into the boundary. This will be a matchup certainly to keep an eye on between a couple of terrific veterans. Roll and Lewis going head to head.
Joseph Zima in to kick it away. Braylon Addison taking it around the goal line. Really runs into his old man. And he gets taken down at about the 5. So the field position has certainly benefited Montreal. Lamar Durant, his Ticats debut, more on him coming up here at Tim Hortons Field. A look at the career numbers of Hamilton receiver Lamar Durant, who started in Calgary, won a cup there, went to BC, and now finally making his Ticat debut. Let's go down to Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. You're right. According to Lamar Durant, it has been way too long to make his Ticats debut. It's kind of tough on the psyche of an athlete when you get to a brand new team, but you're injured early in training camp, so you can't really show your stuff or learn the systems the way that you want to. Durant has said that he is ready to be a difference maker on the Ticats. And when I asked him if he had something to prove, he said he's been in the league too long to have something to prove, but he certainly wants to help this Ticats offense start to put some more points on the board.
Thanks, Jermaine. Strong Canadian receiver, too. Had a great year, especially in 2019 career year with the BC Lions.
Yeah, and this is a guy that I think has an opportunity to really give the Ticats the most dynamic Canadian receiver they've had in this group since Andy Fantu's retired.
So at the Hamilton 7, great for Jermaine to join us with Shinetti on the IL, the one-gamer. Welcome, Jermaine. Out of pressure, over the middle, complete to Addison. Up, down at the 20 for a first down for Hamilton.
I see Dane Evans showing some of that mobility. Both backs releasing. Tim White staying in protection on the backside helps out a little bit as Evans buys time under pressure. Going to one of his go-to guys, certainly Braylon Addison. Battled injuries a lot through 2021. It looks to be refinding his 2019 form in which he was one of the league's top receivers.
Ticats now, little breathing room. Addison again, the ball carrier. Seen that happen a couple of times tonight as Sutton wraps him up, just shy of a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, Braylon Addison, among the receivers, is the guy that you're most likely to see line up in the backfield, take handoffs as a running back. You'll see him carry it out of the slot as well, as you'll often see with Tim White. So this is a team trying to solve its rushing woes by committee rather than relying on one person. But as you heard Matt Dunnigan say in the pregame, it'll help their pass protection a lot too, obviously, if they're able to find some balance with that ground game.
So they get 5 there, just inches less than that at the Hamilton 25. Second down, throwing, deep ball, had a man too, Don Jackson. So the slot back carrying the ball and then trying a deep route to a running back, and he was breaking free, but just not quite, a little overthrown.
Yeah, looking to get that matchup. You'll see Don Jackson coming out of the backfield, and he's going to end up one-on-one. You'll see the linebacker, I believe that's Darius Pickett, who's going to move to cover him. Get that man matchup you want, no help in behind, but just unable to connect.
One that just got away a little bit from Dane Evans there. Domagala down at his 10. For Worthy. At the Montreal 45, Chandler Worthy. Cuts it back to the left. Tries to get the edge. He does, and more. He is Worthy again. A big return for number 30, Montreal, and the Alouettes are in business deep in Ticat territory around the 20.
Yeah, Chandler Worthy continuing to establish himself as one of the league's top return men. Had only done it in limited opportunity during his time in Toronto, played mostly as a receiver there, but certainly seems to have found his niche as part of Byron Archambault's special teams unit with the Montreal Alouettes.
Marking him out at the 25 and a 1st and 10 after a 40-yard punt return. Dumping it off to Gino Lewis inside the 20, down to about the 17, Hamilton.
Oh, what a boost Chandler Worthy has provided. Again, this is a guy who was released by the Toronto Argonauts during training camp. Montreal picked him up even though they had Mario Alford at the time. Alford had an injury which sort of opened the door for Chandler Worthy to jump into that role. And you see the numbers there, the impact, as it resulted in the trade of Mario Alford to Saskatchewan. As Chandler Worthy He's taking a hold of things here.
Right side now, Jeshrin Antwi down inside the 15, and it's worked out okay now for Alford as they play a little musical chairs, but he had a big return last week for Saskatchewan. And Antwi, the second-year running back who got the call after William Stanback went down in week 1 and had another good game last week in Ottawa.
Yeah, and comes into this week's game 5th in the Canadian Football League in rushing. Has shown some good breakaway speed. He's had a couple of long runs through the first third of the year.
And we got the first down to the Hamilton 12. Trevor Harris for Lewis inside the 5 and out of bounds. Jamal Roll was there, close to another first down. Very close. Sounded like Roll was saying he was bobbling the ball, thinks it shouldn't have counted.
Montreal just looking for a quick hitter here with Gino Lewis running that quick out in front of Roll.
Does he have possession of it heading out?
Could be a case to be made here as you see him juggling it on the hip. It looked like he was. And we have a challenge from the Tiger Cats.
As Tim Croker heads over to talk things over with Orlando Steinauer. And the challenge flag thrown out.
Hamilton's challenging the previous play. They think it was an incomplete pass. The play will be reviewed.
And based on what we saw, looks like the Ticats have a case.
Yeah, here you see Lewis goes to tuck it, and it kind of goes a little too far behind that hip. So not really with possession of it as he goes out of bounds.
And you heard the reaction from the fans who are seeing it up on the screen now.
Yeah.
Drawing the same conclusion. And this would be down inside the 5. And a second and very short, about a yard. So a big challenge here for Hamilton.
The officials being tested with some close calls here in the early going. Jamal Roll.
After review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be second down.
He was bobbling the ball. He was bobbling the ball. Bobbling the ball.
Jamal Roll made the call right away. They should have just listened to him. Saved a couple minutes.
He didn't need a challenge. Back at the 12, second and 10. Alouettes. Harris. And he finds Eugene Lewis inside the 10. Kyle Wilson is there. And that will be third down now as the field goal unit should be heading on for the Alouettes.
As the challenge proves to be worthwhile, as they'll force Montreal into this kicking situation.
For David Cote, second year out of Laval, 15 of 17, longest 49. This one nice and close, 16 yards away. Just inside the left hash for Cote. For the first points of this game, starting off week 8. Up and through. Week 8 will continue tomorrow night from Mosaic. Darnell Sankey, Saskatchewan Roughriders, after back-to-back losses to the Argos, hosting Lucky Whitehead. and the BC Lions. Coverage getting underway at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, right here on TSN on a Friday night. Pressure in the West, isn't there?
Well, there sure is. Yeah, I was going to say Darnell Sankey looking right at home in green and white. Big free agent acquisition for the Riders.
Matthew Schultz in at quarterback instead of Dane Evans, and he just takes off, and he gets a big gain on the ground. Matthew Schultz across midfield down near the 40 of the Alouettes for the ex-Alouette, with a flag coming out after he was made his way out of bounds.
Necessary roughness. Montreal number 26. 15-yard penalty. First down, Hamilton.
Well, we've seen Hamilton with a lot of called quarterback runs in the early part of this season. Quarterback draw here as you see him take that drop and then take off. Matthew Schultz showing off some of his running ability. You know, you mentioned earlier, Rod, that Dane Evans is the Ticats' leading rusher. They went into action last week with Evans and Schultz 1-2 in the team on the team in rushing.
And that was an ex-Alouette. Schultz roughed up by an ex-Ticat in Beverett. They were with the opposite teams last year. Don Jackson on the receiving end, a first down and more until he's finally pushed out by Micah Awe. And here come the Tiger Cats. In terms of field position, this has been Montreal's game so far, with 3 points to show for it, but back comes Hamilton now, threatening after one quarter at Tim Hortons Field. Thursday Night Football, presented by 7-Eleven. Through one quarter here in Hamilton, and the Alouettes lead the Tiger Cats 3-0. Not a lot of offense to show for it right now as you look at the net yards. The Alouettes, Dwayne, they actually had the ball more in Hamilton's territory, but only 23 net yards.
Yeah, and I think you get the wind. We talk about it all the time in this stadium, playing a little bit of a factor. Hamilton having to try and punt their way out of their own end a couple times early. The Alouettes had them hemmed up, but a couple of big plays, particularly the run by Matthew Schultz, sets Hamilton up going into the second quarter here.
Yeah, just at the end and going against the breeze, and now they'll have it at their back, albeit a more of a gentle one, gusting at around 20 kilometers an hour, but they're in business now inside the 10 after that Don Jackson play too, with Matthew Schultz still in at quarterback for the Ticats.
Yeah, and we've seen Hamilton, you know, we talked in the pregame about Hamilton using two quarterbacks at the same time, but we have seen them over the last few games get Matthew Schultz in for a series here and there offensively. A little bit of a change up. So we've seen him maybe as more of the running quarterback, and he showed that.
Must mean something to him against his old club. Play fake, dumping it off to the left to Addison. Marc-Antoine Duquois does a great job tying him up. Duquois, and then he gets some help too to push Addison back.
A big play there from Duquois, who's really finding his way as a Canadian Football League safety. He's lined up right by the goalpost. He's going to track Braylon Addison across the formation. You know, you see him slicing between a couple of blockers, making sure he gets a hold. Just enough to hold on until the cavalry can arrive to clean things up.
It is second and goal from the 10. And Schultz off to Addison again. Has room down to the 1. It'll be third and goal, and the Ticats are knocking on the door.
The big bodies come in from the sidelines. It's Matthew Schultz. Hangs in for that screen to set up, and Braylon Addison. You know, this is a guy who, in my opinion, is one of the toughest receivers to bring down after the catch. Not necessarily a guy who's that elusive, but for not a big guy, very strong on his feet.
The third quarterback, Jamie Newman, is in. Keeps it. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. And the first touchdown of the CFL career for Jamie Newman.
And we'll get a look at the work of the big boys up front here, who escort Jamie Newman into the end zone, gets in behind Brandon Revenberg there on the left side. Tackle Travis Vornkall. As you said, Newman has his first.
The rookie from Wake Forest on that 3rd and goal keeper. Touchdown and the point after 2 by Seth Small. New kicker for the Ticats in his 3rd game. So to start the 2nd quarter, the Ticats now have their first lead on a Thursday night at home against the Alouettes. The Ticats take the lead after a 5-play, 70-yard scoring drive.
Yeah, the key play right here, the quarterback draw by Matthew Schultz that took the Ticats into Alouette territory. Don Jackson chipping in. Catching the swing, Braylon Addison on the screen, and Jamie Newman, the first-year quarterback, punches it in on the sneak.
Chandler Worthy on the kickoff from Michael Domagala. Across the 30. And gets up around the 35. Dane Evans off on that drive. It was Schultz, ever the team guy, running on, making sure he gets the football because he knows it's going to be pretty important for one person in particular. QB3, Jamie Newman. How's that for a little keepsake?
Yeah, great moment there for the young guy Newman. This is a guy who was pretty highly regarded at one point by the National Football League. Started his career, as you mentioned, at Wake Forest and had transferred to play in that powerhouse program at University of Georgia in 2020, but opted out during the pandemic. Missing out on that season, impacting his draft stock as he ended up heading to Philadelphia as an undrafted free agent. But a guy with a very high ceiling. Be interesting to watch over the course of his Canadian Football League career.
And we had been seeing Schultz in those short yardage situations with Evans starting, and then with Schultz in running that drive, they go to Newman. So all 3 quarterbacks have had some action in this game so far. Schultz, by the way, was 3 for 3 for 24 yards passing on that drive, and as Dwayne mentioned, the big run. It's Curtis Newton slow to get off after that kickoff by Hamilton.
Yeah, one of Hamilton's special teams leaders, 6-year veteran, former Guelph Griffin.
So Montreal ball down by 4. Trevor Harris is 4 for 8 for 30 yards. Tougher start so far compared to last week in Ottawa. 4 receivers to the left. He's handing off, and it's Walter Fletcher who drives up across the 40. And about a 5-yard gain, Montreal.
And we'll see Fletcher and Antwi sharing touches in that Montreal backfield.
Crowd here at Tim Hortons getting livelier, a little louder. Harris throwing and completing 2 to Lewis, and a first down for Montreal at the 47.
See Lewis lines up on the line of scrimmage. He's just going to bend this one out and sit it down. Quick hitter into a tight window there. It looked like Harris also had Herji Mayala over the middle as a check down, a little more space, but Lewis a first read there for him.
And a gain of 7. Little play action fake, and with time, and Harris pump fake and takes off. He couldn't find a receiver. He has a blocker ahead, and Christophe Normand, the fullback, he gets up across midfield and close to another first down for Montreal. Yes, indeed. Call it a gain of 10.
Christophe Normand, the fullback. Sometimes you gotta take one for the team. He gets out there trying to lead block. But Javon Santos Knox gets underneath him a little bit on that one.
So the drive continues now in Hamilton's zone. Alouettes from the 53. Over the middle again. And it's complete. It's Reggie White down near the 35. And another first down for Montreal.
Reggie White lining up in the slot here, working to the middle. Just a four-man rush from Hamilton. White finding that seam in between defenders for first down pickup.
Antwi remaining in the backfield with Harris. Gets the ball too, and that first down, and nothing doing. Javon Santos Knox. We just saw him taking on Normand and taking on Antwi there for nothing for Montreal.
Yeah, the Tiger Cats leading tackler, and you see why right here. Big boys up front do a nice job keeping the blockers off their middle linebacker, keeping him clean, allowing him to scrape to the football. Make a big tackle there right at the line of scrimmage.
Third in the CFL in tackles, coming in with 36. That one there leaves Montreal on a 2nd and 9 at the Hamilton 35. Harris in a crowd for Winicky. No, incomplete. Kyle Wilson been playing will linebacker for the injured Simone Lawrence in on that play.
Filling in and filling in very well for Simone Lawrence. There you see Kyle Wilson, Richard Leonard as well. Quite literally giving him a hand on this one to knock that ball free of the grasp of Jake Winicky. So that's the difference between a linebacker and a DB. Richard Leonard's going for the ball with his hands. Kyle Wilson's going for the hit.
And together, it worked out. This try outside the 40. And it goes through for Cote to make it a 1-point game. 2 for 2 is Cote on the night. 7-6. Ticats lead. The most talented home cooks return for a shot at redemption on an all-new MasterChef. Back to win Wednesday, 8, 9 Mountain, only on CTV. Set your PVRs for MasterChef. And Matthew Schultz, the touchdown drive the last time to start the second quarter, is still the quarterback in for Dane Evans. Schultz, first 4 years spent as a member of the Montreal Alouettes, briefly as a starter last year after Vernon Adams got hurt, before Trevor Harris came on the scene. From the Hamilton 40 and a first down, and completing it with 7-8 yards. That's Tyler Ternowski with his first catch of this game.
Yeah, Ternowski, University of Waterloo product. Get lined up in the slot on this one. Very productive player during his time with the Warriors. Hamilton native, and continuing to wear black and gold in his professional career.
As he did with Waterloo. 2nd and 2. That's complete. Tim White has it across midfield and a first down for Hamilton.
And Matthew Schultz putting a little bit of Dane Evans heat on this football, zipping it in there to Tim White with a defender closing on his back.
Just across midfield, midway through the second quarter. Oh, under pressure, he tries to get it away. He does. And it's a Darius Pickett, his ex-teammate, coming in on the blitz to take him down just as he was getting rid of it.
Yeah, this is a great defensive play by a Darius Pickett. He's going to come off the edge, number 6. Screaming upfield hard. They're trying to pin him to the inside. He's the contained guy. They're going to try and pin him with Braylon Addison to allow Schultz to get outside, trying to move that pocket. Pickett recognizes it, beats Addison with speed across his face to disrupt that play.
With time, and had it to Stephen Dunbar, who couldn't hang on that second down play, and it looked like he had enough daylight to get another first down.
Yeah, crossing routes. You'll see all the bodies in the middle of the field trying to create some traffic to free up Dunbar coming across, but unable to hold that one.
So with that, the Ticat drive stalls just in the Hamilton zone, at your Montreal zone at their 52. So Domagala will punt it away. With Chandler Worthy awaiting inside his 10, chased down inside the 5, and works it back to the 14 for Trevor Harris. 6 for 11, 54 yards. A 1-point Hamilton lead here in the second. How's this for a different football father and son moment? On the left, Alouette special teams coach David Deschamps. On the right, TSN camera 1, our Pierre Deschamps, his dad, working the same game with other things on their mind right now. Can you give away Pierre? I know David can't. Pierre's busy now too. Both focus. There we go. There we go. That's great. Father and son, very different roles in this game on a Thursday night in Hamilton. The play fake and a deep throw. Gino Lewis caught it. And that's the Eugene Lewis we know, with a big catch for Montreal up across the 40.
Yeah, absolutely magnificent here. Rising to catch this football. Up above the defender, twisting, turning in midair to make the grab. At the top of his jump, nicely timed.
Working on Cariel Brooks, who's making his season debut tonight after starting on the injured list for Hamilton, the All-Star in 2021. So after that first down at the 41, swinging it out for Jake Winicky, and picks up just a couple of yards there with Richard Leonard to take him down.
Yeah, the Hamilton Tiger Cats very happy to have the veteran Cariel Brooks back in their lineup. Plays that boundary halfback spot, and there you see what he did. That's 5 picks in a 14-game season, remember, in 2021.
Tied with Tremaine Washington at 5, but he's been a fixture in that secondary. They've been missing him. And back tonight, season debut, 2nd and 8. Montreal down a point, up across their 40. Harris throwing again. That one incomplete, intended for Winicky, and Brooks was there. It falls short, and it's 3rd down.
Well, Mark Washington's defense gets it done there to force the punt.
The rookie Lawrence Woods, in terms of punt return average, the leader in the CFL coming into this game. Joseph Zima to kick it away inside his 30. Defensive struggle so far as Ticats get close on that punt by Zima. Taken by Woods outside his 20, and he is ridden down there. Frederick Chagnon among the Alouettes to take him down inside the Hamilton 30-yard line. As the tempers flare a bit, and saw Dane Evans getting ready to go in again after a couple of series by Matthew Schultz.
And we've seen Hamilton in terms of when they've kind of gone for change-ups with what they've done package-wise and so on. The 2 quarterback thing, for example, in the last couple of games, it's come end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter. So about the time that Schultz came into this ball game, so it kind of fits that's when they look to shake things up and give the defense a little bit of a different look.
So Evans back, handing off Don Jackson, and he spins as he gets up across the 30, just shy of the 35. Don Jackson's first carry, he was an intended target on a deep ball earlier, but that's the first time he's carried the ball in this game.
And Don Jackson A guy certainly they'll be counting on to try to ignite this run game. Missed the first couple of games of the season.
The 2nd and 5 now from the Hamilton 33. 4 receivers to the right, and that's where Evans looks, and then looks left and deep, and a good defensive play by Rodney Randall. Blanket coverage on Stephen Dunbar.
Yeah, you get those 4 receivers out to the wide side, which means that Stephen Dunbar ISO'd one-on-one into the boundary. Little bit of hand fighting, that's all right. That's just good football by both these guys. Dunbar maybe half a step on him, but Randall well positioned to break that one up.
So this day continues to belong to defenses primarily, as the Ticats have to kick it away. Domagala for Worthy. Just outside the 20. Trying to break it off to the left. Nowhere to go. Alden Darby is there on special teams to take him down. And back comes Trevor Harris, and there's the offensive coordinator, one of the greatest of all time, the leading passer in CFL history, Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah, certainly one of the all-time greats in the Canadian Football League. And climbing the coaching ladder. Has spent some time. Quarterbacks coach, has been a receivers coach in this league. Spent some time coaching alongside Danny Machocha at the University of Montreal. Now the offensive coordinator calling the plays for these Alouettes.
Montreal number 38. Half distance to goal. First down Montreal.
So what's it like for Trevor Harris working with the all-time leading passer in CFL history? Here's what Trevor had to say.
Obviously, he's thrown for close to 80,000 yards, and there's about 3 or 4 people on the planet that could even say that they've done that. And so the fact that you're able to be in the same room as him and listen to him and learn from him it's humbling, and I'm excited to just be able to sit there and learn from him.
And that's coming from a guy who's been a starter since 2017 full-time, had many starts before that. So Trevor Harris has some experience, has thrown for well over 20,000. He's down now. Micah Johnson coming in from the inside, and that is his first sack of 2022.
Micah Johnson having a big first half here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Right on the nose, you see the power of Johnson there. I think Jamison, the center, might have gotten his foot stepped on, caught on a teammate's leg there. Micah Johnson blowing things up, getting into that backfield.
Off to Antwi. Jeshred Antwi. And apologies to Micah Johnson. He came in without a sack.
Yeah.
He had one earlier. Forgot about the one where he grabbed the left arm of Trevor Harris, who couldn't get away. So 2 all of a sudden for the big man inside as the defense stands strong again.
Coming up at the half, we have lots planned. The pressure on Trevor Harris. What do we got? We got the QB situation in Hamilton, but the biggest news of the day, a new member of Matt Dunnigan's family.
Holly Scott McClenny. Congratulations, Madison and Tyler.
That's wonderful news. I can't call him Grandpa. So congratulations. I think he wants to be called Big Daddy. that he prefers that. So awesome news to the Dunnigan family. Halftime coming up. And the Ticat defense and Micah Johnson forcing the Alouettes to kick it away deep in their own zone. Lawrence Woods. Nowhere to run. Say this, the Alouettes punt coverage has been excellent tonight, limiting the return, especially the returns of Woods, #1 in the CFL coming into this game.
Well, you know, both these special teams units have been hearing it all week. Right, about the returners they're going to be facing, the return unit they're going to be facing. You saw Tyrese Beverette starting at linebacker tonight, but a guy who sort of made his way in this league by being something of a special teams demon for the Hamilton Tiger Cats over the last few seasons.
And now in his first year with Montreal and getting lots of work in the weak side linebacker with Chris Aki injured and out. Barely 2 minutes to go. Evans back in at quarterback. Deep ball over the middle, complete to Ternowski, down near the Montreal 20. Second catch, Tyler Ternowski, and that's his biggest so far.
Yeah, Ternowski shaken up on the play, but not before he catches this dart from Dane Evans. Just working into the open space as his quarterback got on the move. Coming down hard on that shoulder, perhaps.
Getting it down to the Montreal 21. 1:42 in the clock until halftime. 1 point Hamilton lead. Looking to add to it. Evans off to his left. It's bobbled by White. Duquois is there. It falls incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, another nice play by Duquois from that free safety position. I mean, this is such an elite athlete, Duquois, playing at that spot. Another former Montreal Carabin.
We've talked about that. All the many that had played for Danny Machocha in university ball, and he's looming as one of the most prominent now. Got a chance as a rookie last year, and now a chance to be a starter regularly at safety for the Alouettes, embracing it.
Yeah, he's made an impact.
A couple of big interceptions this season, one for a touchdown. Some heat coming. They get it away to Dunbar inside the 20, but it was a 1st and 20 after a holding penalty, and 1.5 to go, and the ball is marked down at the 27. So a long second down coming up here in field goal range. Noel Thorpe, the new defensive coordinator for the Alouettes, back with Montreal, part of that change recently. It's complete inside the 25, not nearly enough for a first down to Ternowski, so looks like a field goal try coming up here for Hamilton late in this first half.
Ternowski taking another shot there, demonstrating his toughness. Tyrese Beverette getting after his former teammates a little bit tonight.
He had a roughing call on Matthew Schultz, who was not a former teammate. They were on opposite teams. That took place earlier in the half. There's Schultz on now to hold for the new kicker for the Ticats, Seth Small. This will be about a 30-yard attempt to make it a 4-point Hamilton lead. Small puts it through to make it 10-6, 43 seconds left in the half, and then we go back to the studio. Kate, Milt, Chezzy, and Matt set to talk about, well, at the very least, this game, and who knows what else will be on their minds at halftime, getting closer.
Always look forward to hearing the thoughts of the panel.
About football-related matters as well.
Well, football matters, but the family updates are nice.
The family updates too. For Big Daddy Dunnigan.
Yeah.
Trevor Harris, 9 of 15, 96 yards. The net yardage still under 100, 97 net yards. Montreal, 6 points on the board. They do have time. Couple of first downs. See if they can get in field goal range. Looking off to the right for White. 2 Ticats are there. Ciante Evans, Cameron Kelly up at the 45.
Well, big collision there, but nice job by Reggie White to hang on as he was met immediately after catching that football.
They spot it at the 47 in a 2nd and 3. 32 seconds on the clock. Deeper ball just over Jamal Roll. Dropped it in beautifully to Geno Lewis.
Accuracy has long been Trevor Harris's calling card, and this one is perfectly placed along the sidelines, as you see. Getting it to drop in there perfectly between Roll and Brooks.
Down to the 43 Hamilton, so we're talking about a 50-yard field goal try as it stands right now. 28 seconds to go until halftime. Montreal's in range.
I'd rather be a Tiger than a fucking Argonaut.
For Lewis, and it goes incomplete. 2nd down. Deontay Evans is there.
And 25 seconds to go as that one will stop the clock. Give Harris and the Alouettes a chance to catch their breath and assess their strategy here to try and close the gap or take the lead before the break.
The last time the Alouettes played here in Hamilton, the last time they faced the Ticats period, was in the Eastern semifinal last November. Hamilton won, moved on to Toronto for the East final. The blitz is coming. He gets it away, nearly intercepted. The closest player was a Ticat moving in there, and it does fall incomplete. Deontay Evans was the one reaching for the ball, so down to 19 seconds, and a long field goal try coming up here for David Cote.
And I'm sure Trevor Harris could see pre-snap the free safety. Tunde Adeleke was creeping up to the line of scrimmage on a blitz, so you anticipate that the middle of the field is going to be open for a shot. Just unable to get enough into that one, throwing into the breeze. Fortunate to avoid an interception.
David Cote's career long is 49 yards. This attempt is from 51 yards away to cut it to a 1-point gain again. And it's wide left, and it was short. Taken out by Woods. And Normand makes sure that Lawrence Woods, with a flag coming out, doesn't do what Mario Alford did to the Argos last week, late in the first half.
During the return, holding Hamilton, number 26. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
This is the start of 6 straight games against East Division rivals for Orlando Steinauer and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He was talking earlier about just how important these games are going to be. Toronto at 3-2. And 4 of the next 5 after this are against the Argos, with that other one against Montreal. So nothing but Als and Argos for the Ticats over the next third of the season. That important too, as we talked about earlier. The way things are trending right now, looks like only 2 East teams are going to make the playoffs, the way the West has dominated so far. Halftime in Hamilton. And the Ticats lead by 4 as we go back to Kate. And the Alouettes trailing by 4. They have 124 net yards, about half of it coming from Eugene Lewis alone. Here he is now with Jermaine Franklin.
Well, Gino, that first half was the defensive struggle. What do the Als offense need to do to get on track?
We just got to be more disciplined. We got to execute our plays, get the quarterback a little bit more time, and just keep grinding it through the game.
One of the successes or bright spots of the Als offense was your play. Can you talk a little bit about that? And you always want the ball to come to you in the second half as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I go out there, man, when the opportunity comes my way, I got to make the plays when they come. And, I just trusted my team just like they trusted me. So I'm just going to go out there, do everything I can for my team, and get this win.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Now second in receiving in the CFL. Geno Lewis at 531, 12 yards behind Jalen Acklin of the Ottawa Red Blacks. For Danny Machocha, needing that offense to pick it up a little bit more. In a 10-6 game, this guy can certainly help in that department. Chandler Worthy as Montreal will get the ball to start the second half. He is back for the return. Alouettes coming in at 2-4. Ticats coming in at 1-5. These critical East Division matchups and a run of many, especially for Hamilton, starting with this game tonight as Worthy takes it. Finds some room. Chandler Worthy. And gets it up closer to midfield for Montreal, where Trevor Harris and the Alouettes will go to work with a 4-point deficit to start the second half.
Yeah, Chandler Worthy doing his part, doing what he's done all season for these Montreal Alouettes, setting the offense up with nice field position to start the second half.
Trevor Harris, 11 of 19 for 123 yards. We said half of that to Geno Lewis in the first half. They will start from the 48. Two David Cote field goals. That's what Montreal has on the board right now. Joshua Antwi being pursued by Javon Santos-Knox. Antwi picks up a couple of yards on that. It'll still be second and long, Alouettes.
Well, Javon Santos-Knox looking terrific in the middle of that Hamilton Tiger Cats defense. He's a guy who started his career as a weak side linebacker. Played there in Winnipeg and in Edmonton, but with Simone Lawrence here when he signed with Hamilton, it was moving to that Mike or middle linebacker position. So his second full season really settled nicely into the role.
So a 2nd and 8. Off to the right. It is caught by Antwi, but for no gain at all. And Montreal goes 2 and out to start this second half.
Yeah, nice execution there defensively for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Get pressure on the quarterback, force him to get the ball out quickly. So you know it's going to be a short pass, allowing the defenders to sit back and come up and make a play. Simone Lawrence, he looked pretty healthy there, celebrating with his...
Well, he got upgraded too. He was initially on the 6 and now on the 1 for this game. Is expected to get back in that Hamilton lineup very soon. He was practicing this week with the Ticats. Lawrence Woods with the ball. Gets up to the 20. Tyrese Beverett, the ex-Ticat, in on that special teams tackle.
Well, special teams being so important in the Canadian Football League, and as I said, he proved his value in this role during his time with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Team that obviously was deep at linebacker, but he worked his way onto the roster as one of their designated imports or designated Americans. Occasionally taking snaps on D, but primarily filling a role on special teams. And he was dominant and continues to be, even as he starts on defense tonight for the Owls.
Ball is right at the Hamilton 20. 1st and 10. Dane Evans in at quarterback, completes it to John Jackson. It's about 8.5 yards on that catch and carry. And setting up a 2nd and short now for Hamilton.
Yeah, quick hitter. We haven't seen a lot of Don Jackson runs in the ball game thus far, but looking for other ways to get the ball into the hands of this playmaker. Quick hitter there in the flat will give the Ticats a 2nd and short situation.
And on that 2nd and 2, back to Jackson on the ground. Darius Pickett taking him down, but not until he's up to around the 33 and a 1st down for Hamilton. Recognizing the importance of getting the ball in number 5's hands more in this game.
Yeah, I think the run game is something where you need to let people get into a little bit of a rhythm, not just the running back, as you see so many running backs seem to thrive with a greater workload, but I think also that offensive line just getting their time, getting in a little bit of a flow of pushing people around.
Up to the 33. Starting the half with a 4-point lead. Looked like Evans wanted to throw a deep one. He does try it off to the left for Dunbar, who gets hit by Duquois and a high throw. Second down.
Yeah, pressure on Dane Evans pretty quickly, forces him out of the pocket. Stephen Dunbar. And for an opportunity to add to his 2022 highlight reel there, but unable to come down with that one. Dunbar, the reigning 2022 Catch of the Year champion.
Beautiful one-hander against Ottawa a couple of weeks ago. Pressure again on Evans, who's forced to get it away quickly. He does to Keandre Smith. Keandre Smith has it, and up near midfield for the rookie out of Guelph, and the son of a great CFL player years ago with the Argos, Pee Wee Smith.
Yeah, playing on the other side of the ball than what his dad did, but Keandre Smith, son of Adrian.
Adrian, excuse me, not Pee Wee, who played in the CFL. Look at a big run from Sean Thomas Erlington inside the 40. And excuse me, thinking Pee Wee, who played for the Stampeders, Adrian Smith, who had a pick six for a touchdown for the Argos years ago. And his son had a catch before this play, Sean Thomas Erlington.
Nice misdirection there. Good job by Colin Kelly. Guard getting out in front. There you see Coulter Woodmansey left guard. Nice kick out by the tackle. Kelly to open that up.
And now it's Dunbar. Stephen Dunbar takes off, and he's gone. Touchdown, Ticats. His CFL leading 5th touchdown reception as Hamilton opens up this lead.
Well, Stephen Dunbar is so often the deep ball guy in this Hamilton Tiger Cats offense, but working against the wind here. Look for a different way to get Dunbar the ball, hit him with that hitch screen. Couple nice blocks at the point of attack. Dunbar reads them perfectly en route to the end zone.
6 plays, 90 yards in just over 3 minutes for the Ticats. With Small and the point after try right down the middle. Quickly done by the Ticats early in the second half, capped off by the catch and run by Stephen Dunbar. Touchdown number 5. Celebrations all around in Hamilton.
Great execution of the hitch screen here. You're going to see Stephen Dunbar on the outside, step forward, step back to catch the ball. The other 2 receivers to that side are coming with the kick-out blocks. Watch for the guard, Coulter Woodmansey. He's got the 3rd block out there to take care of the 3 defenders and create the run lane. They block it up nicely. Dunbar finds the lane perfectly, reading those blocks, and takes it to the house.
And Hamilton takes an 11-point lead at 17-6 with the kickoff from Domagala into the end zone for Chandler Worthy now. Montreal in a bigger hole. And a big tackle, Alden Darby, coming right down and taking Worthy down at the Montreal 10.
But you've got to love this play from another veteran guy, Alden Darby, former Toronto Argonaut, Winnipeg Blue Bomber, getting down the field on teams. And you know, you look at the depth that Hamilton has put together in the secondary, as we had a guy, Carriel Brooks, an all-star, out to start the season, but you know, Richard Leonard comes back to Hamilton as a free agent. Alden Darby comes over as a free agent. Darby. They're still strong at the spot.
Nice special teams play by Darby, who won a Grey Cup with Winnipeg last year. Late substitution on defense for the Ticats now. Mason Bennett back in. 1st and 10. Alouettes at their 12. 3 to the right, looking that way and completing it. No, out it comes. Looked like it was into the hands of Hergy Mayala, who had 5 catches last week, but that one is incomplete.
Yeah, just unable to squeeze this one as he's working back sort of towards the middle of the field, back towards the ball. Ball was thrown to the outside, so he's kind of going against his body here and was unable to really control the momentum of the ball to bring it into his body.
Second time he was targeted on the night. Still no catches for Hergy Mayala. 2nd and 10. Harris. That one, little low, and he was targeting Mayala again. Falling incomplete. And Montreal will have to kick it away from deep in their own zone.
Yeah, it looked like the ball again was just a little bit behind the intended receiver, Mayala. The trailer here, you'll see this break to the middle. Tough to get down after that one.
Little celebration. Jamal roll, the boundary corner, and a challenge coming out now for Danny Machocha.
Feeling maybe that the contact came a little early.
Montreal challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
So another contentious play to be reviewed by the command center. Is this PI? Rule on Mayala. Decision on that coming up right after this. Thursday Night Football presented by 7-Eleven. Sen heats up Saturday with 2 games on tap. New England taking on Toronto FC. Nashville going up against the Whitecaps. Both games kicking off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN. Awaiting word from the command center and referee Tim Croker on whether or not this was pass interference.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Montreal, by losing its challenge, has lost a timeout. It's 3rd down.
So saying no, it was not interference by rule on Hergy Mayala. So the Alouettes lose that challenge and a timeout.
And it's interesting going back to last week in a conversation we had with Montreal head coach Danny Machocha. Dealing with the challenges is something that's new to him despite all his experience as a CFL coach. Of course, that was something that was implemented during his time away coaching youth sports football. So as connected as he was still to the league, actually kind of navigating the use of those is something that he's just a couple of weeks into.
The punt by Zima picked up by Woods at midfield, and he's taken down. But yeah, Machocha was a head coach back in the 2000s with Edmonton, but has not been a CFL head coach since 2008 until a couple of weeks ago. Led the Elks to a Grey Cup title in 2005, beating Montreal. And his CFL coaching career started with the Alouettes back in the late 90s, actually, just with the return of the CFL to Montreal from the Baltimore Stallions. They moved up.
Yeah, a guy essentially starting as a volunteer coach.
And there's Vernon Adams on the 1 game for this one tonight, and shouting encouragement too for that Alouette defense now. From the 54, Montreal, Dane Evans calls his number, the QB draw. Evans, who we'd mentioned, the leading rusher in the Ticats coming into this game tonight. Picks up 6.
Yeah, we saw a couple weeks ago in the Ottawa game in particular, the Tiger Cats used a series of plays that led to their quarterbacks running the ball a lot, called runs. It was an option type situation, but both Schultz and Evans piling up a lot of carries in that ball game.
Running game by committee. They've had 8 different players running the ball. It's completed there to Dunbar. Excuse me, 6 different players on 8 carries before that passing play to Stephen Dunbar, who has the touchdown for Hamilton in this one tonight.
But it's a simple thing here. But you'll see how the fullback getting out in the flat pulls the defense out. That creates a window to the inside for Stephen Dunbar. So it's so important, again, that you get all of those routes with your proper spacing. Don Jackson pushes inside. Garon Gauthier pushes outside. Dunbar comes open in the middle.
Here come the Ticats, Don Jackson. So yes, another one of those rare running plays for Hamilton. He coughs up the ball, and what's the ruling here? Alouettes think it's theirs. They're still discussing it. And it is Montreal football. For this here by Jackson after a good game. He was down.
Certainly looked like he hit the turf before this one popped out. His elbow's down. Sort of once his torso hits the turf that the ball is jarred loose. So this should remain Hamilton ball.
Ruling is that the runner was down by contact. It's going to be second down.
The right call, and made quickly by the officiating crew here, and it will continue to go for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Don Jackson gain makes it a 2nd and short.
Usually you kind of watch the body language of players on the field after a turnover call, and the Alouettes didn't seem to be celebrating that much at first. The Tiger Cats offense was staying out there, so it was a surprise to hear the call.
Alouette defense had to come back on. Here's a deep ball. And into the hands. No, it looked like Dunbar had a shot at it with Rodney Randall there. Looked like they both had it at one point in time.
I suspect the command center's busy evening may continue right here. You see Randall with a tug on the jersey, first of all. Right there, Dunbar.
Wow.
Initially looked like Dunbar has it and pulls it into his body, but then as they go to the ground, Randall pulls it away. You hear us all the time use the phrase has to survive contact with the ground, has to survive his landing.
Remember Brandon Banks and DeMario Houston, which ended up being a Banks touchdown, by the way, because it got transferred from one player to another. But to see them get tangled there, although it looked like it could have been a touchdown into the hands of Dunbar first and then coming out with Randall there. So the bottom line is it's 3rd and 3 from the Alouette 27.
Going on the field stands, it's 3rd down.
Yeah, just you look at how quickly that all happened. Randall had basically taken it away from Dunbar sort of before he survives that landing.
So I'm assuming the question for Orlando Steinauer is...
Hamilton is challenging the ruling of defensive pass interference.
Yeah.
The play will be reviewed.
Thinking there's PI, since there's no chance that he survived hitting the ground with possession of the football.
And we talked about it the first time the replay ran. You watch the right hand of Randall here on the front of the jersey. Clear tug.
Another busy night for the command center continues here in Hamilton. Coverage of the Rocket Mortgage Classic begins Saturday with 3rd round action. Golfers teeing off at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. That's on TSN and CTV2. Rocket Mortgage Classic. Rodney Randall. Was it interference? Here's the announcement on that.
After review, pass interference. Montreal number 32. Automatic first down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and I think they got the call right, because in watching the replay, it was the first thing that stood out to me as the ball is in the air en route to Dunbar. You can see it's not just a touch, but there is actually a grab there by Randall as he runs with the Ticats receiver.
So that sets up the Ticats nicely with an 11-point lead and a great chance to pad it now. 1st and goal at the Alouette 1-yard line after the pass interference call against Rodney Randall. Jamie Newman has a rushing touchdown in this game. Third string quarterback for the Ticats, trying to do it again. No, not at all. Slow to get the exchange by the looks of things, and didn't get anything.
Alouettes D-line was all over that. Usually as you look down the line, you'd see the offensive jersey surging across on a successful play, but there it's all white jerseys moving into black territory if you watch this. Armando Sewell, the first one, not surprisingly, to explode across the line.
And Newman comes out. Dane Evans comes back in at quarterback for Hamilton now on this 2nd and goal, and a big moment for Noel Thorpe's Alouette defense. Stuffed him once. Still 2 more tries here for Evans, running out of shotgun now on 2nd and goal. Handing off to Jackson, spins and scores the Ticat touchdown. Darius Pickett had him, but he couldn't hang on. And a rushing touchdown for Don Jackson.
It's been a good duel going on all night between Ticats running back Don Jackson and Montreal linebacker Darius Pickett. They meet again here. As you said, Pickett with good contact initially, but unable to wrap up completely. Looked like he might have been going for the football there instead of wrapping up on the tackle. Jackson was able to spin out of it and into the end zone.
Well, that is the first touchdown of the season for Don Jackson, just the 3rd rushing touchdown of the season for the Alouettes. They had one earlier by Newman tonight. So 2 rushing TDs on the night for Hamilton, and the point after by Small makes it a 24-6 lead. 18 points. The Ticats are ahead in this first showdown between Hamilton and the Alouettes. All Cats now. He was the head coach of the Montreal Alouettes, and he is now a consultant in football operations for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Let's go back to Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Rod. Yeah, that's right. I had a conversation with Kahari Jones, and I asked him, now that he's a consultant with the Ticats, is there a little extra juice in beating his old team, especially what occurred in the regular season? And he said, the gentleman that Kahari is, he doesn't work that way, and that's not on his mind. But what he did say is he used the word disappointed about not being the head coach of the Owls anymore. He says that he still believes they're a good team, and he thought that he could lead them to good things. But as far as the consulting job, he has a direct line with Orlando Steinhauer, and he's been in the league since '97 as a quarterback. A lot of it has to do with offense.
Thank you, Jermaine. Once played for the Ticats back in 2005. He was an assistant coach later in that decade with Hamilton, and now as a consultant. Shortly after being let go by Montreal, Chandler Worthy on the run and up across the 40.
Well, you forgot to mention Kahari Jones, of course, best known as the guy who carried Milt Stegall.
Well, that is well documented. When he was the most outstanding player, quarterback of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and the likes of 85 certainly benefited from that. Milt would admit that. I think Milt would say he had a kind of a hand in that too, that Kahari had 46 touchdown passes, I believe in '02, and Milt had, I think, 23. What a combination that was in CFL history. But he said, Kahari Jones, to Herb Zurkowsky, the Montreal Gazette, it was just so abrupt. That's the tough part. I'm disappointed by it. I'll leave it at that. Those are the quotes. But he said to Herb, and it must be weird for him now watching his new team take on his old, as Jeshrin Antwi has the carry. And the Alouettes now in a big hole, 18 points down. And that decision was made by the general manager, Danny Machocha, to fire Kahari Jones and the defensive coordinator, Baron Miles. And he pointed at discipline, and that's something that stung Kahari Jones as well. They didn't think that was fair criticism or reason to make the change.
Yeah, and always a tough situation anytime a coaching change has to be made. I'm sure not an easy decision for Danny Machocha in the circumstance either.
Short yardage, Dominic Davis, who leads the CFL in touchdowns because of that roll, and that is for a first down right at midfield for the Alouettes, as Trevor Harris will come back on.
I'm looking to make some hay in a third quarter that has been dominated by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A couple of nice touchdown drives for them to extend the lead to 18.
From the Ticat 54, the sweep to Worthy, and he cuts it back up inside, taken down at around the 51 by Dylan Wynn.
Chandler Worthy has parlayed his special team success into a role offensively with the Alouettes. It's been suggested as well as chipping in occasionally at receiver. You see him getting the run there, that we may actually occasionally see him line up at running back.
2nd and 7 at the Hamilton 51. The heat is coming, and Harris goes down again. That Ticat D-line has been relentless. Julian Hauser, Santos Knox in there, and making life miserable for number 7.
Yeah, they just dented this pocket all over. Note Hauser, the defensive end, he slides to the inside. Santos Knox, the middle linebacker, is outside at the end of the line of scrimmage. The loop around, frees him up for the sack of Trevor Harris. Julian Hauser, the Ticats team leader in sacks this season. His 4th of the year.
And the fake, and it works for Montreal. The fullback, Normand, with the ball on that fake punt, and they caught the Ticats off guard. First down, Alouettes.
Yeah, you see Normand, the personal protector in the backfield. See how he's kind of squeezed in tight to that hash mark, cheating towards the middle a little bit so that he can lean in and take that snap.
And 21 yards. And the fullback, not in a conventional play, but gets to carry the rock to a first down at the 36 of Hamilton. So a special teams play to invigorate the Alouettes. Harris calls his number, fakes the handoff and takes it down to the 30.
Yeah, not sure if he faked it or if he
just a broken play.
Yeah, or if Jeff Ronanti, we kind of gave him the Lucy Van Pelt here. Left him on his own.
Here, you take it. I was going to say, did a good job of selling that fake, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about the quarterback holding the ball is he knows where the play is supposed to go.
Last play, 3rd quarter. Alouettes in a 2nd and 4. Off to the left, and Antwi has it. And inside the 20, so here comes Montreal. At the end of the 3rd, down in scoring range to see if they can close this gap. Great 3rd quarter, Hamilton. Dunbar touchdown. Later a Don Jackson touchdown too, and a 24-6 lead. The stats through 3 quarters, Hamilton's offense certainly opening up more in that 3rd quarter now, and they do have the 18-point lead, but here comes Montreal to start the 4th.
Yeah, you just hope from a Montreal perspective that it's not a case of too little too late, as we've seen so many times in this stadium, the wind being a factor from quarter to quarter, and it plays into the way that you play the game. It plays into your strategy, and Montreal, I think, needed to make some hay with the wind at their backs in that 3rd quarter. Instead, it was a 3rd quarter dominated by Hamilton. They kind of ate up a lot of Montreal's time with the ball, taking away their opportunity to close the lead.
Yeah, the last time they were against the wind, to your point, David Cote tried a 51-yard field goal and was short on that.
Yeah, you remember the field goal attempt as well. There was a long pass by Trevor Harris that fell short as well, that was clearly affected by the wind. And so it can be tough in a comeback type situation, as Montreal finds themselves in now, to be faced with that, where your field goal range is going to be limited.
Off to Walter Fletcher on that first down play. So a little closer to the 15, with the Alouettes trailing by 18 to start this 4th quarter. When you get this close, you'd have to think End zone or bust.
That's it. Got to take a chunk out of that lead if you're Montreal.
Second and 5. Quickly completing it. Mayala just inside the 10. Hergy Mayala, and a first down. It'll be a 1st and goal for Montreal. And that is his first catch. Had a couple of targets earlier, but hangs on there.
Yeah, the former Calgary first rounder coming off a big game last week. Finally gets on the board here, setting the Owls up, as you said, 1st and goal.
At the Hamilton 9. High snap in the shotgun. Harris scooping it up, dumping it off, nearly intercepted. Cariel Brooks had a chance, and if he had caught that ball, he could have been gone.
Yeah, and this is a play where Brooks is able to get a jump on it, because I think the snap being a little bit off, timing being a little bit off in the backfield, you can see allows Hamilton to start to anticipate what's going on, to start to read the play, because it was slow to develop. And Brooks very nearly with a likely pick 6.
But broke the play up in this, his season debut after starting 2022 in the injured list. Instructions from Mark Washington on a 2nd and goal at the Hamilton 9. Harris looks to the end zone once again. Brooks had a shot covering Eugene Lewis. 2 plays by Cariel Brooks.
Well, Cariel Brooks might have missed the first third of the season, but he appears to be in mid-season form here tonight. Cuts underneath the receiver, gets that right arm out to tip that ball away. Terrific break on the football.
Mark Washington loves it. The All-Star from 2021 having a good season debut, especially that series right there, breaking up a couple of passes. So I said touchdown or bust, but the way those last 2 plays went, they want something to show for it. Cote does come on, and another short field goal try for Cote as he reduces that lead to 15 for Hamilton. So many great CFL fans here tonight in Hamilton too, including that guy. Do you recognize him?
He looks vaguely familiar.
That is Dave Randorf, who was the host of the CFL on TSN from 2001. Yeah, we're talking about you there, Dorf, to 2013. Just a terrific job for so many years on our coverage, and a fixture with the panel. I can't remember who replaced him, doesn't matter, but what a great job he did, and now the voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Dave Randorf, big CFL fan, and enjoying this one tonight, I would assume. Braylon Addison up to the 50. And Matthew Schultz at quarterback.
Yeah, Ticats once again going for that mid-half change-up to start the 4th quarter.
So up to 86 yards on the ground. Definitely a different Tiger Cat offense in terms of rushing to get the first down, and here comes Dane Evans. They have been splitting time. More Evans, 11 of 16, 159, but Schultz led a touchdown drive earlier.
Yeah, Evans came on for Don Jackson. So we're going to see the 2 quarterback offense here from the Tiger Cats.
You were talking about this. So new rule allowing this. 2 QBs on the field, and what innovation does Tommy Condell have with 2 quarterbacks out there and Schultz going out? They set up a draw, and that's to Addison, and nothing doing on that first down.
Yeah, not much there, but I like the play call from that formation as a key breaker, because the things that they had done previously had been pretty similar. It had always been Schultz taking the snap, Evans moving to his right and throwing the football. That just as you would do in your regular offense, sometimes you need to do some things to keep the defense honest so they can't start cheating based on what they've seen.
Alouettes defense ready for it there on that draw, and it's a 2nd 11 and a loss of a yard. The Hamilton 50. Trying to get their offense the ball back, down by 15. Evans. Over the middle and wide up, and it's Dunbar. Oh, he's pushed down and the ball comes out. Mike Jones hit him hard. Down he went, and out came the ball. 8 on 8. And it's Alouette football. Defense did get the ball back for the Alouette offense, but they did it a little differently. Dunbar was wide open, and that ball is out, and Montreal has it.
I'm experiencing a little deja vu after seeing the Ticats playing here against Ottawa a couple weeks ago, where it was Anthony Johnson who got blindsided by the offside corner after making a big catch downfield. Here, Dunbar doesn't see Mike Jones coming off that far side, and Jones absolutely lights him up, dispossesses him of the football. Marc-Antoine Dequoy with the recovery.
So a first down, Owls from the 23 on that turnover. Deep ball ran away for Lewis, who has it and is still on his feet as Adeleke tries to finally haul him down inside the Hamilton 45. So one big play by the defense, followed by one big play by the offense, and the Alouettes coming back.
Yeah, and the Alouettes catch them reeling a little bit after that turnover, sort of that sudden swing of emotions. Little in and out move there by Eugene Lewis, demonstrating as he has in the past. Terrific jump ball receiver.
At the 42. Little play fake, Harris throwing again. Oh, Reggie White. It was going in and he was hit hard. Adeleke coming in, the Ticats safety, and punishes White, preventing a catch.
Well, and this is another thing we've seen a few times over the course of this season. You'll see Adeleke deep at his safety spot, top of your screen. Reggie White coming from the right side of the screen across the field. Adeleke is coming downhill, sees it all the way to break that one up.
On a ball White had. Great play, Adeleke. 2nd and 10. Hard hitting 4th quarter. Harris off to the left to Antwi. And good yardage after the catch to get it inside the Ticat 30 and a first down Montreal.
Yeah, lots of open field in front of Joshua Antwi as he catches this. Little swing route. See, he's already got his shoulders north-south as he catches the ball. Able to just continue that momentum up the field to move the sticks.
Alouettes down 2 scores. 15 points. 9 minutes to go in the 4th. And White just sat down for that catch and turns around and gets another first down inside the 20.
A great response here so far from the Montreal Alouettes. You'll see White on this one just finds that soft spot between a couple of receivers, or between a couple of defenders rather, works back to his quarterback. Get it up the field, pick up the first down.
So right back down the field against this breeze to the 18 of Hamilton. After the turnover, quickly off to the left to Tyson Philpott, and he gets it down to the 10, and it'll be 2nd and 2. The 8th different receiver tonight for the Alouettes from Trevor Harris.
Alouettes trying that hitch screen themselves. Get Tyson Philpott involved. Look at the depth with the signing of Mayala, drafting of Philpott that they've added Okay on Julian Grant in terms of their Canadian receivers. Impressive group.
Second down and 2. Antwi. They keep it on the ground and he gets the first down. It'll be 1st and goal. Montreal getting close again. Five carries for 19 yards. He had 7 for 79 last week in Ottawa. 1st and goal. Quickly over to Winicky. At the 10. At the 5. And just inside about the 4. Deontay Evans there to take him down. They get closer. 2nd and goal.
Back to back with the hitch screens there, this time going to the other side. Jake Winicky still looking for his 1st of the year after leading the Canadian Football League in touchdown receptions a year ago.
They said end zone or bust last time around. Do you think it is this time? This a 3-down game now?
I do.
15 points. They need the end zone. 2nd and goal. Harris under pressure. Dumps it off for the touchdown, Montreal. Hergy Mayala. As the Alouettes do indeed find the end zone at a critical point in this game.
Well, it demonstrates good poise by Trevor Harris, keeping his eyes downfield as he's forced from the pocket here. But a nice job by Hergy Mayala recognizing the situation his quarterback is in, just kind of going, I got to get where he can see me, find a spot. And he does exactly that.
And with the point after try, it can come down to a 1-score game. If they kick the 1, it would be 8 points. They're going for 2 to see if they can make it 7. Antwi gets it in.
Look, touch and go for a minute there as he looked like he lost his footing. He blew a tire on this one. Yeah, it's hard to run on turf in a sock.
Well, they figured at some point they needed 2.
Yep.
They went for it this time, and they do get it. Missing some footwear, but still finding his way in. Entry. Drama back in Hamilton. Jeshurun Antwi in a 2-point convert try. Lost his shoe. And it looked like he was down before he broke the plane, but it does count as a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and you'll see on the play why it counts. Nobody touches him to cause him to go down. That was just him slipping. No one touched him after he was down. So he's never down by contact. He was never forced down.
After automatic review by the command center, it is determined that the runner was not touched. Therefore, the convert is good.
In high school or university football, he wouldn't need to be touched. It's just as soon as some part of his body other than his feet or his hands touch the ground, then he's down, period. But at this level, there has to be contact. Someone has to touch him once he's down or have caused him to go down for the play to be dead.
And so it's a 7-point game all of a sudden now. Hamilton still leading, but the Alouettes are right back in it. Lawrence Woods on the return up around the 40. Trevor Harris facing the heat, and just before he took off, he dumped it off for a touchdown. Montreal's only down a touchdown.
And here's the play that brought the Alouettes closer. Trevor Harris under some duress in the pocket. Has the presence of mind to keep his eyes downfield as he's being forced out. Hergy Mayala finds Harris. Harris finds Mayala for the touchdown.
And then they go for 2, and they get it to 7. Had they not got that, it would still be a 2-score game. But now, 7-point lead, 24-17 Hamilton. 5.5 minutes to go. And looking like more late drama here at Tim Hortons Field. Matthew Shiltson at quarterback, and he keeps it himself. With Dane Evans now off on the side, they have gone back and forth in this game.
And anticipate a little bit, you know, as you saw, Matthew Shiltz runs a little bit more of a QB run package than Dane Evans does, although we saw him go 3 for 3 on a touchdown scoring drive throwing the ball.
Gain 7 and 2nd and 3, and he's throwing on that, completing it for a first down to Don Jackson, just across the Tiger Cat 50.
And obviously it's a deployment of their quarterbacks in the timing that may seem somewhat unique. But I think in some fairness, the fact that Matthew Shiltz is a veteran quarterback makes it a little bit easier, I'm sure, for Orlando Steinauer and Tommy Condell to put him in this situation.
A long-time backup, but certainly with a lot of playing experience with Montreal. Gets it over to Jackson, and that's back at the 45. So lost yardage that time for Hamilton. The concern for the Ticats is protecting the lead. And it's been tougher for Orlando Steinauer this season. As you look, one of the big reasons why is look at the scoring differential in the fourth quarter, Hamilton and their opponents.
Yeah, exactly. You look at that 117 to 52 from halftime on, not in the Ticats' favor. Now they came out and had a good third quarter here, but need to finish strong to secure this victory.
But it's 11 unanswered points by the Alouettes, 11-0. The score Montreal in the fourth quarter. Shiltz, deep, left, and the coverage is there. Randall on Dunbar, as Randall's the one to touch it as it falls incomplete. So third down now, and Hamilton is going to have to punt it away.
And Matthew Shiltz took a big hit as he threw that football. Keep an eye here on defensive tackle Michael Wakefield. I think he was the one who got the hit here. Comes all the way around on the loop. That, you know, I thought it live and thought it again there. It looked like to me like it was a high hit.
Tyson Philpott back for this punt. For Michael Domagala, the momentum has certainly swung in this game at Tim Hortons Field to the Montreal Alouettes. About to get the ball back, and now within one score. Philpott chasing after it, picks it up at the 7. Good punt, Domagala. Philpott breaks away, gets a block, he's still going. What a return by Tyson Philpott. It's Domagala that got in front of him and tripped him up. But not until they swung the field, they get it past midfield. And here's the Alouettes, 7 points down with a great place to start.
Absolutely massive play here from Tyson Philpott. Couple of nice blocks, one coming up right here. It was close, but I thought the Alouette blocker did a nice job of getting in front of the Tiger Cat special teams player.
Just another dramatic finish here in Hamilton. There have been so many. In this, their fourth home game. 7-point lead Hamilton, but Montreal has it. Harris, and he completes it too. That's Eugene Lewis, bringing it down just shy of the 25. They spot it at the 27. Alouettes were down 18. They're down only 7, and they're getting closer now with 3 minutes to go.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by 7-Eleven, where you get fast 24/7 delivery on game day, including Slurpee drinks.
More late game drama in the CFL. Montreal was down 18. They're down just 7. They had the 3-minute warning. There's 2:39 actually on the clock. It's a 1st and 10. Alouettes at the Ticat 27. Little play fake. A look into the end zone, nearly intercepted. Seontae Evans covering Eugene Lewis, and he's the one who had his hands on the ball.
Yeah, great position there from Seontae Evans. Gets over the top on that route. Speed turn there. Good recovery from Evans. It's not often you see someone going up over top of Eugene Lewis in a jump ball situation, but Seontae Evans did it there.
2nd down. Low snap. Harris picks it up. He does get it away for Reggie White. Bobbles it. No. Cariel Brooks in the coverage. It falls incomplete, and it is 3rd down.
Well, Cariel Brooks, just in case you forgot about him while he was on the injured list, reminding everyone why he was an all-star in 2021. He has been everywhere tonight.
His 3rd knockdown tonight, his 3rd of this quarter. Had a couple covering Eugene Lewis in one drive earlier in the 4th. So here we go. 2:23, 3rd and 10. Alouettes have to go for it. Down a touchdown. Harris, Hauser chasing him down. Harris can't get the 1st down. Dylan Wynn stops him. And Montreal turns it over on downs with 2:15 to play.
Well, good teamwork from that Hamilton defensive line. Hauser with the shoestring tackle attempt in pursuit. Gets enough of the heels to slow up Trevor Harris a little bit right here. And that little stumble allows Dylan Wynn to get there to finish the job. Keep an eye on Hauser. He's the bottom man on the defensive line. Right here, he's going to pursue all the way around the horn as Harris gets flushed away from him. Keeps that motor chugging.
And that look says it all for Trevor Harris. Few yards shy. Mark Washington's defensive unit getting it done. Dylan Wynn.
Ivey, you better be in bed.
How do you go to bed when the game's this close? There's so much drama. Matthew Schultz still in and keeps it himself. Gets up near the 25. Still 2:11 on the clock. So a huge 2nd down here, of course, for Montreal's defense. They need the ball back in a hurry.
A 2nd and long passing situation. Dane Evans checks back into the game for Hamilton. You know, you don't often think of teams looking to their quarterback to be the ball carrier when you're looking to close out games, but they've done it a couple times this year with Hamilton.
A 2nd and long. Hamilton 24. Evans, he throws off and he completes it for a 1st down to Braylon Addison. Huge 1st down, Tiger Cats.
Oh, Braylon Addison. Veteran guy, certainly one of Dane Evans' most trusted targets. Looked initially like that ball might have sort of slipped through his elbows, but Addison getting the arms underneath it for the completion and the 1st down. Big one there for the Cats.
5th catch for 39 yards, Braylon Addison. He's had some carries too. So on the 1st down, Don Jackson right side pulls his way for a few yards. 1:23 on the clock here in the 4th quarter.
Timeout, Montreal.
So the Alouettes take the timeout with an even bigger 2nd down now coming up.
You see Addison, balls down low, hands underneath it. Picking it off the turf.
Such a big part of that Ticat offense in 2019, particularly in combination with Brandon Banks. Explosive receivers complementing each other so well as they went to the Grey Cup with a record of 15-3. Had injury troubles last year, negated most of his season. It's a 2nd and 7. Time winding down, and it will be 3rd down now. So the Alouette defense stands that time, 1:18 on the clock. They will get the ball back, but with very little time left, needing a touchdown.
And clearly looking for another big return from the rookie, Tyson Philpott. Ticats will run down the clock here.
They can run this clock right down to 59 seconds. Domagala, the punter for Hamilton, on this 3rd and 5. Killing as much clock as they can here into the final minute. They do get the play off, and it'll bounce for Philpott. Picks it up at the 26. Gets it up across the 35. 48 seconds. And that's the situation for Trevor Harris and the Montreal offense. They have to go and score a touchdown for a chance to, well, force overtime.
Yeah, just taking a moment going back to the last Montreal touchdown and their decision to go for 2. They were down by 15 points. Now, if they miss that, it creates a situation where it's a 2-possession game because they're down by 9. But I think you go for 2 at that point because then you have clarity with some time on the clock, knowing how many possessions you need, as opposed to taking the 7, maybe missing a 2-point convert later and scrambling to try and get that extra possession.
Flags come out with a snap of the ball as Jamal Roll looked like he was the one to move early.
So it kind of impacts how you manage the clock if you know earlier whether you're playing a 1-possession or 2-possession game. It looked like there was actually early
Outside,
movement offensively.
Montreal. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down. Timer, please put 48 seconds on the clock.
Keep an eye in the very bottom left corner of your screen. Receiver Gino Lewis. I think his timing may have been affected by Jamal Roll in front of him trying to time up that blitz.
Now they blow the whistle, and they're marking it further back to the 33 of Montreal. Got the spot right. Need to go 77 yards in 48 seconds. 1st and 15. They get to Harris again, and it's Hauser again. The 5th sack for Julian Hauser of the season.
Big one there for Hauser. Again, moving the defensive end around. He lines up inside. This time exchanging with Dylan Wynn. Wynn penetrates inside, creates a loop lane outside for Hauser.
Second and 23. Daunting for Montreal. Oh, huge Eugene Lewis, you got to be kidding.
Fantastic concentration.
Right at the first down marker. They needed 23 yards.
He's basically reaching over the defender here. Again, it shows you the trust to throw that ball in that tight window. It shows you the trust that Trevor Harris has in Eugene Lewis.
8 catches, 154, including those 23 yards on a 2nd and 23. But Harris dumps it off to Antwi barely in time. And they make use of that as Antwi gets another first down. They're not done yet. 23 seconds to go.
Yeah, they'll have to get it lined up quickly. Ready to snap the ball when the officials whistle it in.
Clock starts ticking when the play's whistled in. 23 seconds. Still a long way to go for the Alouettes. Harris, as the clock ticks. Nearly intercepted. Ticats getting the touch on that. Cameron Kelly, the closest to it, so it's 2nd down.
Yeah, tight window here for Trevor Harris. Good protection. He's got time. You see he's looking for the route coming in from the left side of the screen, but he's got a couple of checkdowns underneath that might have been able to pick up some yardage as well.
Some movement at right tackle. Looks like Landon Rice for the Alouettes, the ex-Ticat, as the flags come out again.
Procedure, Montreal number 55. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
This is the Ticats' 4th home game. In all 4, they've had the lead in the 2nd half. In 3 of those cases decisively, and they lost those 2 before. And then they beat Ottawa for their first win of the season. Trying to hang on here to get win number 2. 2nd and 15 at the Hamilton 53. Harris steps up, ducks under a pass rusher, and he runs to get it down. And Harris is slow to get up, and a flag comes out as well. Will it be roughing against Hamilton?
Well, that'd be huge in terms of yardage, especially given the amount of time that Montreal took off the clock with that play. Wait, the call. It looked like Hauser was going to get to Harris at the line of scrimmage. And Trevor kind of ducked underneath it.
You tack on 15 more yards, they can certainly take a shot at the end zone with 8 seconds left. Awaiting the call.
Well, taking a look at the play, watch Hauser in pursuit. And well, this is why he didn't get there. Landon Rice got away with a little bit of a tug on the Hamilton D lineman. But Trevor Harris has talked to us about working on his speed in the offseason, wanting to improve his speed. Uses it there.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton number 30. It's a 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down. The injury spotter is removed number 7, Montreal, from the game.
Well, we saw this in a similar situation in the season opener in Winnipeg. Zach Collaros in a critical late game drive was removed from the game after taking a shot. The spotters took him out. Drew Brown came on to lead the Bombers to victory. Now it's up to Dominique Davis.
It's in Davis's hands now with Harris out. 1st and 10, Hamilton 21. Clock ticking. Final seconds, Davis. Intercepted. just shy of the goal line. And Hamilton is going to win this game. Cameron Kelly intercepts Dominic Davis. Trevor Harris could only watch as the spotters took him out of the game.
You get a look, Kelly in the top right corner of your screen. So they're basically playing double safeties back there. That one gets away from Davis, looking for Mayala near the goal line.
Cameron Kelly has it in his hands, and that was the final play of this game. After 3, the Ticats had led by 18. It got a lot more dramatic. Montreal came close, but not close enough. And now the Ticats have their second win of the season, their second in 3 games.
A big third quarter from Dane Evans and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Gets it done as they look to erase their second half woes. Maybe start a new trend.
They had the big lead, and this time the defense hung on. Hamilton beats Montreal, first of many Eastern games coming up for the Ticats as well. Thanks for watching the CFL on TSN.